as the drivers are getting ready. Green flag is out here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and there's immediately a crash, and caution is out. Someone flipped to the back. I think it was Dim. He might have jumped the start. And so immediately we get a caution. And Dim's backing up and going to the pits. I don't know if pits are open. I also do not know the legality of backing up on the racetrack in order to make it back to the pit lane and then speeding on the pit lane. So,
yeah, Brian Barnhart is not going to like that.
Kind of breaking every rule at once here is Dim. I'm not sure what race control will deem the ruling on that is, as he will take a pit stop, very quick one. Obviously didn't take a lot of fuel there, so very quick pit stop for Dim. He will be back out at the tail end of the field. So far, it looks like the entire field. Will anyone pull out last second? No. Except for Zed in the back, the entire field is going to the pits, including Dim. And it's very quick pit stops. Is going to be tight down here in pit lane.
Well, Bubble, what do you think so far?
I think we're having troubles getting to hearing from Bubble. Meanwhile, off of pit lane, oh man, a close race between Corey and Brown. Corey Wilson just keeps the spot. He's not taking the pit exit access road, and Brown gets hit from behind by Anthony. And they'll sort all this out. We should be green this time, and Zed will be your new leader with Corey Wilson behind him and Brown in third.
Yikes. That is not going to look good.
It's a little bit messy in their pacing. They're going to want to sort this out, as actually green flag is out here, but in the short shoot of turns 3 and 4, Zed leads, but a good jump for Corey Wilson. He's going to have big slipstream as we are going to fly down the front straightaway at speed for the first time. And Corey Wilson, big slipstream to the inside. He's going to look to take the lead. Zed leads the lap, but Corey Wilson has the position into turn 1 and takes the lead here at Indy. Yep, on board with Kimmy here off of turn 4. You see how much he's having to lift in the middle of the corners. The leaders are flying away. We're going to watch his telemetry here into turn 1. He's not really lifting. He's going to have Carter to his inside, and Carter makes the pass.
Contact.
Up front.
Huge crash here in the
like
short shoot.
discharge.
That is discharge. That is very unfortunate. It was discharge, and I think one other person. I did not see who that was. Ooh.
Discharge
It
is
is.
not very happy.
It's Ford. As they roar down the pits right there. 24K has already completed his stop now, and he's off the pit road. I'm having a few lag issues right now, so pardon me. But Zed is staying out once again.
There's still 2 cars yet to pit up front. Brown coming to the stall. These are just splash and go stops. Dim is going to pit as Corey Wilson comes out in front of Brown, and Dim is out in third. Behind, it's then Anthony, Napa, Kimmy, Discharge, Carter, and Ford. And Zed, again, will lead them to the green on the restart. So Zed has yet to pit, while every other driver in the field has made 2 pit stops.
One reacting to the green right now. So, who is someone you have your eye on as we're coming to the green flag? Who do you have your eye on most right now? Like, who do you believe is going to be the most, I would say, almost interesting driver to watch during this race?
We've only seen a few laps, but from what I saw, after a certain point, after about the first 4 cars, the dirty air was a lot to deal with, and we started to see a split in the pack. But there was one driver, and that was the driver of Dim, who was able to go. Owen Brown does not go off the restart. Kimmy gets up in the air. They're 3 wide and behind. Napa spins, and Carter's in the grass. They both save it. Brown takes the access road. I think he's gonna back out and be at the back of the pack. So we're gonna commit to the green flag as again, Corey Wilson looking to the inside. He does not make the pass before the line, as Dim has a run into turn 1, but he's wide. As I was saying, Dim, I think, did the best at overcoming some of the dirty air before. as we see race control gives Brown a drive-through penalty for the move on the restart there.
Definitely not what Brown wants to see. Not Michael Andretti. I believe that is Schmidt-Peterson's. Yes, Schmidt-Peterson's car. Definitely not what he wants to see for his driver. Brown is one of the most consistent drivers I've seen in this series. So this is not at all a good way to start out to this race.
Yep.
Looks like he's going in right now to serve his penalty. Yes, he is.
Oh, and he hits the attenuator. I don't know if he lagged or what happened. As into turn 1 up front, they're side by side. I'm not sure what happened to Brown, though. A huge hit.
That is not going to look good on his resume. Brown is a rookie driver for this team. Well, not a rookie driver, excuse me. This is second year with Michael Andretti. So this is definitely not going to look good with him. This could be a source of conflict. Right now, as Ford takes the lead away from 24K. Remember, this is still very, very early on in the race. Ford, I have not heard anything about what his strategy might be. But as 24K looks to take that lead away and Zed go around him, I believe Ford might be fuel saving right now.
I imagine so. We saw a big run for the other two cars on the straightaway, as they're still going to be fighting here in turn 2. Zed was able to pull the crossover through turn 1 onto the short chute, and they are side by side down the back straightaway. This will be a good display of who has more wing level on, and it looks pretty dead even as they're coming down into turn 3.
Right, that is something we also do want to talk about. How important do you think the wing levels will be in this race, Agent?
Oh, it is extremely important. It can determine the outcome of your race. As someone who's driven with these wing levels a lot, you know, if you're on a 1 or a 2, just the lowest wing level possible, you will fly down the straights, as we see Ford doing just that. But the dirty air is almost unbearable. You have to lift so much in the corners that you will lose out tremendously time-wise if you're behind multiple cars with a very low wing setting. Now, a higher wing setting, you can basically take it full throttle through the corners in dirty air, but when you get on the straightaways, you feel very slow as Ford is fuel saving, and I believe Corey Wilson is doing the same thing behind him.
One thing I also want to bring up.
Oh, we got a wreck in the back. Gam winner and Dim.
Big wreck.
They're wrecking. Dim's out of the race.
Dim.
It's over.
Yellow is out. Dimitros. This is going to be our second caution. Dimitros is going to be our first DNF here in this race. Very disappointing for Dale Coyne Racing. If I were Zed, I would pit now, but no, I think he is staying out. Actually, no, he fakes it and goes out. Napa Boy this time is going to be staying out. So everyone going down pit road.
We're going to have to watch and see who can gain and lose the most, because remember, Zed has stayed out this whole race. He will have a longer pit stop. It will take longer to refuel his car than anyone else's, so I expect him to lose some spots here on pit lane. As here we go, we're watching Zed. Zed in the pit stop. Kimmy goes by. Ford, Corey Wilson, Anthony. He comes out just ahead of Anthony and Carter. So he lost 3 spots on pit road because of the longer pit stop.
Kimmy will lead them off pit road, followed by Ford, 24K Zed, and Anthony.
As Dim is fanning out of the back, we expect to see green flag here soon. On board with Napa, looking back. It's a decent start for him. A good start for Ford. He's going to the outside of Kimmy. But that actually leaves the inside open for Corey Wilson. So very packed up here at the start. Napa's going to be snaking, trying to break the toe. Here comes Kimmy with the run. Ford with a bigger run. Oh, everyone has a run on Napa. Can he keep the lead into turn 1? I think he will. They're 3 wide behind.
Oh, 3 wide there in the back. Oh, contact there between Zed and Carter. Diving down into turn 2 towards the back straight. Napa Boy is our leader.
Corey Wilson spins. He gets hit. Anthony's involved.
So is Anthony.
That's going to be a reset for Corey Wilson. I think Anthony is okay.
We have been joined in the commentary booth by Marcus. He has just joined just a couple minutes ago, so we're going to turn it over to him. Marcus, what are your thoughts on this race so far? What do you think about the action? And most importantly, what are your views with this new car?
So, thank you, Lord. But so the race has been honestly exciting. We've seen multiple passes, a few crashes too, were unfortunately, but it's going great so far, I think, or it's going good. But I think this new car it's a little difficult for these drivers from what it's looking like. But I think once they just a few more laps, maybe a couple more, they can try to settle things out and they can learn how to do it a lot more better. But yeah, I think it's going pretty decent.
Here we go, getting ready to come to the restart. Our top three is Napa, Zed, and Kimi. So it's going to be Andretti Autosport, Penske, and KV as the teams that round out our top three. Waiting for the call. Everyone's kind of gotten out of line already. And green flag is out here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
A good start for Napa up front. And here comes Zed. He's got a good run off of turn 4. As Kimi opens up the wheel, he's going to get a good launch off the corner. Napa and Zed are snaking. Kimi's holding it straight and discharged behind with a big run. And so is Ford. So they're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Ford up the inside. He's looking at the inside of Kimi as well as Napa goes wide. Napa's gone wide and Zed is taking the lead. And on the inside of Napa is Ford. So immediately Ford recovers off of a terrible pit stop and is up to second with a run coming for first.
I am wanting to know right now if this is part of some sort of strategy by Napa. I believe he is dropping back to fuel save. Ooh, it's going to get close right there with Dim. Dim backs out. So, Marcus, what are your thoughts right now on this but this restart?
Well, the restart, I think, so gladly or luckily it went okay. We had Anthony kind of some contact with Napa, but everyone's starting to single file out, which is for the best. But we got Zed in the lead and Ford it's in second, and we got Kimi starting to make a move on Carter. But ultimately, we'll stay behind.
I think Kimi, as Napa hits the wall off of turn 2, he goes down the track. He's going to lose all his momentum, but he's able to keep the car straight. Crucially, we will stay green. And I think, back to Kimi, I think Kimi's saving some fuel here. He was really slow into turn 1, and Carter was able to drive right around him. But now Kimi's coming back at Carter. This is the fight for P3. Ford and Zed have a little bit of a gap out front. As Dim does get a better run through turn 2. As caution is out.
Caution is out.
In the back, it's Gam winner.
Upside down.
Oh.
Is he out of the race? I believe he was involved in an incident earlier, so I think he might be out of the race.
Looks like there's another reset. Yes, he's not out yet. He still has hopes, or he still has his hopes. Unfortunate for him, though.
We're getting ready for some pit stops here. This would fall right on the time to make it on 4 more pit stops, I believe. So Dim will lead the field in. I expect everyone to pit, and we do. So a full pit lane once again, as the earliest people to stop will be Corey Wilson and discharge in the back. Then it's Carter and Napa. A bit of a longer stop this time after a green flag run. Corey has a bit of a rough stop. I think Carter will beat Corey Wilson out. Oh no, I think Carter had a problem in the pits. So Carter with the problem. Kimi comes out in front of Corey Wilson behind. Ford and Anthony have pit, as we are waiting to see Dim's pit stop, and he missed his stall. He stopped too early. Ford gets a good exit. Ford will win the race off pit road, and Dim falls to P3 after missing his pit stall. And Ford will lead them to the green on the restart.
I believe Ford has been leading off these race off pit roads a lot.
It is only lap 36 of this 200 lap race, so all these drivers just need to tattoo it in their brain that this is an extremely long race, and we are still in the very early stages as the green flag flies and Ford takes off as your leader. Followed by Kimi, 24K looking to make a move for that third position. He does. Ford goes off the line and looks like Kimi is going to pass him as we are now crossing the little brickyard line, and Ford dives into turn 1 with Kimi right behind him.
They're a little packed in right now with Dim going to the inside of Kimi. Gonna maybe try and pass him on the corner. No, he's gonna back out of it. And they are trying to get single file, and they will. With Ford leading, Kimi second, and Dim in third. Nothing changed from the restart, but here's Kimi. Gonna have a run, but here's Dim getting a run
contact.
too. Dim gonna go
Ooh.
contact.
He's sliding
And
up
he
the track.
slides
He's in the
around.
wall. He's gonna be out of the race, and he
wrecked it.
flips.
There it is.
Up
That
and
is
into
a DNF for him.
very disappointing way to end his day. He will be out of the Indianapolis 500.
Oh, and Kimi does not
And
go,
oh,
and he
Kimi
makes
gets
contact.
going.
Kimi wasn't ready.
As Carter ran into Kimi, but Carter got away without any damage. We were watching Kimi as he did not react to the green flag, and a big crash there in turns 3 and 4.
We're getting ready to come to the green flag. Ford will lead them, followed by Discharge in the number 4 and 24K in that 10. And the green flag is out here at Indianapolis. Ford dives down in turn 4, and it's single file as they head down onto the front straight. Looks like game winner
for
might
Discharge.
make a move.
Yep, Discharge looking at the outside. He's going to drop down back in behind Ford. So Ford will lead them over the line. Discharge lost some momentum after trying to drop back, and they are single file behind.
Single file coming down through turn 2, past the Sweets. Now down the back straight. Game winner might have a good enough of a run. He could potentially pass heading on the front straight, but I think right now it's too early. In fact, he is closing rapidly, so it might be earlier than we expected. Single file action here in the field. Napa Boy looking to make a move back there on to Anthony, as Anthony lets off and lets him by. So Napa Boy is now up to 4th as he attempts to close on his I would say, biggest competition, 24K.
Now up front, we saw a bit of a close battle there between Discharge and Ford. As through turns 2, Discharge is following a little bit too close, in my opinion. You see him have to lift off and loses his momentum off of turn 2. He's gotta lay back a little bit, get some cleaner air. When you're right behind another car, you lose a lot of the downforce off the front wing, and you are unable to carry as much speed through the corner. And you see it there again in turns 3. Discharge needs to back off and build up a run on the straightaway, because following this close in the corners is making his car very tight, and he will be unable to pass Ford for another lap.
Very, very interesting strategy coming from the KV Racing number 82. Meanwhile, up front, Napa Boy is in 2nd place now, but 24K is looking to close. Our top 3, Ford, Napa, and 24K. Discharge has dropped way back into 4th place, and
I'm
there's
going
a
for the lead
very
here.
big gap.
So the first time in quite a few laps, we see a change for the lead into turn 3. Napa made the move. Ford did not fight at that time. I think Napa had too big of a run. And I also wonder if Ford's going to start trying to fuel save here. We're gonna actually go on board with Ford off of turn 4 and see his telemetry snaking down the front straightaway. Will Ford lift going into turn 1 to save any fuel? And it looks like the answer to that is no. He's full throttle, 235 miles an hour. He's closing right up to the back of Napa. There's a lot of dirty air there. As he struggles to make the next corner, he's following very closely behind. It's gonna be a big battle here going into turn 3. So Ford not saving fuel. He's going to go to the inside and try to retake the lead as turn 3. He has the position, and he gets the move done.
You saw Napa really kind of tried to put up a fight, but not too much. But this battle is far from over. Napa is still attempting to close on Ford. It is still we're just coming to lap 60, so if racing is this intense on just lap 60, I think you can imagine how it's going to be on lap 199.
Another defensive move from Ford. Here comes Napa around the outside. That's very tight in turn 2. They're bang wheels. Contact in turn 1 as Napa's still holding the outside on Ford.
But you saw that they only lightly let off the throttle. These are not stuck cars. They do not do well when they touch wheels like that. But they kept it going. No huge overreactions. So I really got to hand it off to them. Heading down into turn 3, Napa gets right back into line. And Ford takes the lead, again, with no issues.
Since I went in their channel and I asked them their fuel, I wonder if, now that they know they're all so close, they've thrown the saving out of the window and they're just going to go for it and race until the pit stops.
I think that's what you're seeing from the top 4 here is Napa, again, to the outside of turn 1, holding it on the outside. It's very tight. He has to lift off. He's going to lose some momentum as discharge is closed up to the top 2. And, man, they're following so close through turn 2. Here comes Discharge with a run. Can he keep the momentum off the corner? It's very tight between the top 3. I expect to see a battle. Yep, Ford is going to take the defensive line. Napa going to the outside again.
Side by side now into 3. Ooh, there's a little bit of contact right there.
Oh, and Ford slides.
Oh, they hit tires. Ford's might slide.
Oh, they just barely stay off of each other again. A good run for Napa off the corner. Can he take the lead here? Not quite. I think Ford is on more trimmed out wings. He's able to pull on the straightaways even though they're side by side.
Ford slides right back up in the first position. He's not going to go up an inch. Like Bubble said, these two are just wanting to go racing until they make their green flag pit stops. So we are already kind of on the edge of our seat. Getting close to that time. It's nail-biting time.
Corey Wilson is also caught up to the back of this pack, and the backpack has split up, but they're still very close. So Carter and Kimmy have been trading, slingshotting, and saving. I think it's part of a strategy. They might all try and pit together.
Put this right here. Side-by-side action. Game winner slightly edges out. Napa actually gets right back in the line as Napa looks to close right here on Ford. Does not get it. Ford takes that defensive line. I have noticed that quite a lot from him throughout this race. So, very superb driving abilities from Ford.
Oh, Napa gets there, though, off of turn 2. He gets to the inside. Ford will not be able to defend the inside this time, but he has the superior straight line speed and retakes the lead. I think Napa's on a pretty high downforce setup as he gets to the inside, takes the lead this time. But, oh, and there's contact, and Ford's in the wall. Ford crashes. Caution is out. We were just about to approach pit stops, and the leaders collide, and Ford...
He's out of the race. Ford's DNF.
He is out. Oh, my.
His Indy 500 hopes are over.
He is not happy.
So after these pit stops, I think a lot of the drivers will hope to make it to lap 100. That'll be a bit of a stretch on the fuel, almost about 35 laps, or 36 laps once we see the green flag. As Anthony might be staying out here. No, he decides to bring it in. I think that was a wise decision. So we will see everyone pit here. Corey Wilson will be the first to hit the box, then discharge. Kimmy will follow them. And it's quite a long pit stop after a long green flag run. It takes a while to refuel these Indy cars. Corey Wilson is out ahead of discharge. And Kimmy is out behind both of them. He had to get around Anthony, I believe. We're going to see where Carter comes out relative to Anthony and Kimmy. And he comes out ahead of Anthony. Up front, Napa is the last car to come out of his box. Can he retain the lead? No, he comes out behind Corey Wilson. So Corey Wilson, with a good pit stop, and I believe he saved some more fuel there, he will take the lead after yellow flag pit stops. We'll have to see. We're going to ride on board with Corey Wilson, see if he lifts on the start. And yeah, the target lap for all these cars will be lap 100. As green flag is flying, Corey Wilson with a good restart as discharge is going to go to the inside of Napa. So side by side for second, as here they come down to cross the yard of bricks. As discharge lifts off, follows back in behind Napa. So single file as we enter into turn 1. Corey Wilson does not lift immediately off the start. He will lead them on this first lap, although Napa with a good run. He will follow closely through turns 1 and 2. I'd expect to see the contact between Napa and discharge under investigation, because contact in the middle of the corner usually does not end as nicely as it did there. That could have very easily seen one of those cars with damage. And there we go. Race control has already decided drive-through penalty for discharge for avoidable contact. He will have to serve it pretty soon. He might already be coming down. Yes, he will. So discharge brings him
Speeds
into the
down
pits.
pit lane.
I think he was good there. He did, yeah, he did not speed. He's good to serve this drive-through.
Definitely not what Panther Racing wants to see here. Meanwhile, we have a new leader, and it is Carter here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and that 38 Service Central machine will lead them heading down into 3. But Napa Boy is close behind him. He is going to be closing soon, as 24K looks like he has a small run on Napa Boy. As they're side by side in the 4. 24K, I think, might edge him out here. No, he does not. Napa Boy has the run, and 24K is just going to have to get right back in the line. I am suffering from some technical difficulties right now, so I might be a little bit behind.
It's all
But
good. We see,
there is...
Corey Wilson tapped the wall there in turn 2. Up front, it's still the top 3, really close. So.
I just got word. Kimmy didn't disconnect. His mom pulled the plug out of his Xbox.
Oh, so
Oh my.
Kimmy is forcibly retired from this race.
So, down the front straightaway, Carter and Corey on the high side. And here comes Anthony. Actually, no, here comes Corey with a charge into second place. We're going to see Anthony coming into play here. He was at the back nearly the entire race, but now is making his way up to 4th. So,
I think it's Corey
interesting
Wilson's
to
turn
see.
to go. He's going for the lead, and so is Carter. Carter with a move on the inside of Napa, following Corey through. Can Carter get alongside? Oh, he fits in the gap just barely. As Corey runs wide through turn 3, that's going to give Carter the inside. We're seeing a bit of a battle now. I wonder if they've stopped saving, realizing they can make it more easily for the next 11 laps around to a lap 100. As Carter hits the wall off of turn 4, that's going to hurt his momentum. Will Corey Wilson come back at him? It's hard to say. I think he's saving. I think Corey Wilson is still saving a little bit. With about 11 laps to go until we see green flag pit stops.
Now 24K looking to close on to Carter. I am frozen right now, so pardon me.
He's still
But
closing.
right here,
Side by side.
He's
Closing.
looking to make a move. Oh, Carter lifted. Here comes Napa.
There come
Carter
both.
just lost 2 positions with that maneuver.
I wonder if he is fuel saving again, back into fuel saving mode.
Oh, and here we go. It's time for green flag pit stops a little bit earlier than we expected. Lap 94. And 2 cars have sped on pit road. It's Carter and Corey Wilson.
That is, you saw they made some contact there on pit road. That is definitely not what either of them want to see.
Anthony, they're not going to get a penalty for that.
No penalty from race control. That's interesting.
Anthony came flying in and hit both of them. Anthony hit 24K in the attenuator, and then it pushed Carter forward by hitting him in the right rear.
So,
And Gap went by, he took the lead.
yes, Discharge is staying out another lap. So Discharge stretching it somehow over these other 4 cars. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw Anthony get a penalty for the contact going to the pits. We didn't see it. We were on board with Carter still. But these 4 cars have stretched out now after those pit stops. Discharge is yet to pit. We're following Discharge through turn 4 right now. And it will be this time. So Discharge going to the pits this time. And he will take the very first pit stall. He missed it a little bit, I think. He had to back up into his pit stall as the rest of the field comes off. And there it is, the drive-through penalty for Anthony for the pit entry violation. And Discharge is out of the pits, but he still has to go the entire pit lane, and he will be well behind the rest of the pack.
Very tough break for AJ Foyt Enterprises. Anthony will have to serve that penalty soon. It's just been kind of penalty city today for a lot of these guys, but like we have said before, the stakes are high, the fatigue is high, and the driver numbers are low. But right now, it is still anyone's race.
I mean, how this is going to end up working is, I don't think they're going to catch all the way back up to the, to the pack, but ideally how this works is they catch up as much as possible, and, they'll pit, obviously, a lap or 2 after, per what they did earlier, but they'll be caught up enough where they can catch the draft, and maybe, just maybe, to the final stint, they can be right there with the main pack, and we'd have 5 cars battling for the win.
Well, I said I don't know if Anthony changed his wing, but what I saw into turn 1 there might have told me something different. I do not know if Discharge lifted or not, but a big run for Anthony, and he's actually Discharge.
Excuse me. 69 to go here at Indianapolis, and we are now in, I believe, we're getting close to 2 hours and 30 minutes of recording. I think we are there now. So everyone is obviously very tired. We're just wanting.
Oh, Discharge! He broke a tire.
Ooh!
Discharge is gonna be.
No!
He's out.
Oh!
He's out of the race.
And he sped, and caution is out.
Yellow is out.
And we lost another one. He smacked the wall off of turn 4. Oh man!
We've seen that somewhere before.
I can't believe that the Panther Racing
Just
number
like
4
Schechter.
car.
Just like Schechter did.
You're right. Just like Thomas Schechter. He smacks the wall out of turn 4.
It was exactly like real life. I cannot believe he just did that.
You better. I don't believe the coincidence.
I can't believe it.
Oh my goodness.
Just
This
as Schechter
completely
did.
changes the race.
Just as Schechter did in 02.
Caution is out. 68 laps to go. The number 4 Panther Racing National Guard car driven by Discharge. He gets in the dirty air. He's high in turns 4. And he smacks the wall and breaks his right front suspension and his nose cone. And he is out of the race.
So, history might be repeating itself. Although this race, I will admit, is 1,000 times better than that.
Oh,
Green
sorry to
flag
interrupt. What an amazing
Oh,
start
what a
from
start
Carter.
for Carter.
Carter jumps around the outside. He's in
Amazing
the lead.
start.
That was the most incredible restart I've ever seen from the
That
number
was
38
beautiful.
machine.
That was amazing. As we are green here again at Indianapolis, everyone is back into single file formation. 24K is going to get a run.
Here comes
Napa
Napa.
boy.
Napa's going for the lead.
They're
he
side by
parks on
side.
the
He has
apex,
to
though.
lift. Corey Wilson is tight in the dirty air. Napa's still on the inside. So Corey Wilson drops to 4th, and Carter's trying to hold it around the outside. They're side by side off of turn 2.
Napa boy right now looking to have a run. They're side by side, literally wheel to wheel. Oh, they're getting close.
They almost touched. I think they did touch just a little bit.
I don't think so.
You
I think it
saw?
was kept it clean. Still there.
Oh, he's coming
Carter's
up.
still there.
It's so tight.
Oh,
He's
Napa
not
took
clear.
it away.
Right here with Anthony. That's going to get tight right there. Corey Wilson makes it out, though.
So these 4
Coming down
cars
the
are
front straightaway.
getting after it.
64 to go.
64 to go, and Napa leads. Carter's in 2nd place after a phenomenal restart, and they're starting to single out a little bit here. Anthony's very close to Corey Wilson, as Carter runs a little bit wide on the exit.
Carter's got to run. So does Corey. Corey backs off. Carter's going to take it, though. He makes the pass.
Oh, but he's wide. He's
Now
wide.
Napa
Here comes
comes
Napa.
back.
Napa clears him, and it's going to be back to Napa in the lead. Although off the turn 2, here comes Carter with a big run to the inside.
Corey's got an even bigger run. He has to back out super hard all the way down 20 miles an hour for Corey.
Well, I think Napa was slow in front of him, and Corey just had nowhere to go. He's playing it smart here, still 60 to go, but you definitely kind of feel the urgency that just comes up at the end of every single one of these races at Indianapolis.
Does Napa make a move? Yes, he does. Goes in the inside.
There goes Napa.
Corey follows. He lifts again. So Corey, he looks like he doesn't want to pass right now. He kind of just wants to sit here, wait to see what's going to happen. You know, analyze if he doesn't know what wing they're on, try and guess by how they're racing up front. And I guess maybe he can save a little bit of fuel. And by doing this, I know Anthony definitely can save a lot of fuel, but it will benefit him later whenever they get to the pits. He will have a faster stop.
It definitely will. On this stint, I don't necessarily want a faster stop. I want to pit as late as possible, so that I can catch back up with the draft. And then for the final stop, I want to pit right as early as I possibly can on the last stop, because that will give me the shortest pit stop and then flat out to the end. If you're not on fully trimmed wings on that last stop, you might just trim it all the way.
Anthony lifts heavily off the throttle right now. I don't know what's happening with him.
Oh, Napa,
But-
he gets hit. He's going up to
he's
the
a wreck.
wall.
Can he save it?
Wreck.
He saved
my
it!
goodness.
He saved it! I can't believe it! I can't believe it! There's not
That
going to be a
is,
caution for that because he's still going. He doesn't have damage. No, Carter
Oh,
wrecked!
Carter hit the-
Carter wrecked at turn 4!
That will be a yellow. Oh my.
We were infatuated with Napa's save, and then Carter up front off of turn 4 was tight and it hit the wall.
Yeah.
So
Right now,
should-
everyone
after this
heads on the
This
pit
is
road.
high G forces. You know.
Now, Bo, back to what we were saying. You know, you pit here, and you do not want to extend the stint long, because that's a longer pit stop for you, longer time spent in pit lane. So if you could, the difference between running this fuel run to the end and pitting when you need to is going to be about 7 or 8 laps. And I mean, if we do some math real quick,
Oh no, math!
30 laps, you're running almost 3 or 4% of fuel a lap. That's going to be 3 or 4 tenths of a second every single lap you stay out longer that you lose.
Alright, we're in the start zone. And it's
Race
green.
control has waved the green flag. Corey Wilson with a good jump. Carter with another great start from behind.
Oh, Napa blocks him. Way up in the corner. That could have been really dangerous. Carter had to lift after that one.
I don't know
Very
if it was as
aggressive.
much of a block or just getting out of the groove and wide. I don't think it was intentional to move up like that in the middle of the corner because that is extremely dangerous. And Napa with a good corner. I think he's going to have a run on Anthony when we come through turn 2 here. Here he comes. He's looking to the inside. Looking to the inside of Anthony. Does he get the run? He actually does have a decent run. I think Anthony's going to lift
Anthony's
off.
backing off.
Yep. So into turn 3, all 4 cars are right here. It's Corey Wilson leading from Napa, then Anthony, and finally Carter. We're going to hit the line. It's going to be 50 laps remaining in the Indy 500 and 5,000 Robux for the winner. Right now, it is provisionally in the hands of Corey Wilson in the number 10 car.
Anthony on the attack.
Oh, big run from both cars.
Somebody
Anthony's
just
gonna go
fell
down
out
low.
of the sky and landed on the front straightaway. I think they're out of the way now, but
Oh, that
that
was him. He was
that
trying
was
to get a picture.
crazy.
Did he land in the flag stand?
I think he did. We saw him bounce around for a second. It was just outside of the fence on the front straightaway. Back to the real racing. And there's a crash. Anthony spins. He saves it.
Oh, he saved it. They're still good.
Green
I
flag
completely
still
missed that.
out.
I was tapped out. Oh, wait, the nose cone to attenuator. Napa hit him just a little bit.
Really tight racing here in the top 4. Anthony off of turn 4. Napa's very close behind, and Carter was wide. They're side by side. Here comes Napa. Napa to the inside. Across the line. I don't know who led that line. Oh, there's a crash! Anthony!
Caution is out!
Anthony has
Anthony's on his final car. No wrecks
Oh,
all day
my.
for Anthony, and now at the ending of the race, gets involved and he's on his final car.
And that puts 3 out of the 4 final cars on their last car. With just 13 laps to go, I think we'll see the green with 11 to go. It's going to be a shootout.
All right, well, we'll see if they come in. Who wants to keep track position? Who wants to make an adjustment?
any
Corey
takers.
Wilson fading in.
Does everyone
Napa
go in?
fading in?
Two
Two
are going in.
adjustments.
3, 4
They all
adjustments.
come in.
4 wing
Everyone's going
adjustments.
So
Everyone
everyone's
hates
coming
it.
in for an adjustment. Corey's in his box. Or the fuel doesn't really matter here. They just pitted earlier, so they're going to be very quick stops.
That's right. More than enough to make it to the end. They were good already. I think Corey came out in front of Carter back there. That's right. So then, and Anthony will need his laps updated after crashing and respawning his car. So here we go. The race off pit road is going to be between Corey and Napa. And Napa's off
Napa's
first.
got it.
Napa has gotten it.
So everyone has a clean stop. They're the same order exiting as they entered. It's 12 to go now. When we cross the line and see the green flag, it'll be 11 to go.
95th running of the Indianapolis 500. Got nearly 11 to go.
Which it is. We saw the race control throw the green this time signal. So we should see green flag here in a
See
moment.
what
We're going to
happens
go on board with Napa. Green flag is out, and Napa
Oh,
does
Anthony
get a good
didn't get
start.
going.
He's on the outside of Anthony. Side by side for third. Up front, it's still Corey Wilson. Oh, Anthony has to lift, and Napa's going to take away P3. So weaving up front, Corey Wilson in the lead. Here comes Napa. Look at the outside of Carter. Can he make that move stick in turn 1? Oh, he can.
Oh, big
Carter has to
checkup.
lift off. And Napa takes P2.
All right, so they've all adjusted their wings. They're all good on fuel, so this just depends on how far they're willing to go to win this race.
That's right. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a move like we saw in 2014, late up the inside.
And I've made that
I'm
move for
predicting
testing, and it spun me out.
future Indy 500s here in 2011.
Oh, Napa's trying to make it around the
Oh,
outside. He's
no
gonna
way,
go
he's
to
gonna
the
hit the
wall.
wall.
He's in the
He
wall.
hits the wall.
Back to the wall.
can't make that move, especially not this year.
That's right. You do not want to hit the wall off turn 4 in 2011, especially if you're in a National Guard car.
Anthony, beautiful move. Flies by Carter.
That'd be just like Thomas Schechter.
It would be.
Just like Schechter.
There's not
He's
going to
gonna
be...
try to get out of turn 2. I don't know. It's just not a good area to make these moves.
I'm not
He's
sure
gotta
what,
wait.
what wing adjustment he made. I wonder if he went to a higher wing and now he can't get as big of a run on the straightaways, but is able to corner very well. So by the time he gets to turn 4 and turn 2, he's all over him, but has nowhere to go. Here we go.
Anthony's good in the dirty air too. Look at that. He was able to follow pretty good.
Carter has fallen back big time.
Yeah, I was about to say this is very spread out for it to be 10 to go off of a restart. So
That's right. Here
we'll
we
have
go.
to see if Carter can catch
Here's a
back
good
up.
run for Napa. Corey Wilson weaving. We're going to cross the line with 9 to go. Napa says it's not time yet. He's waiting. He stays on the outside going into turn 1. Anthony closes
Oh,
a ton.
Anthony's all over the
Here they go. Here they go.
It's so
Napa, look at the
close.
inside. This is
Oh,
going to be
big
it.
tight from Corey. Big tight.
Oh, Anthony's very tight, too.
Anthony's
He dropped
way
off.
back.
All right, 3 to go. Is Anthony run out of time? 4 drivers fighting
Carter
for
has something.
5,000 Robux and an Indy 500 win.
Carter's going. He's tied. He's going to get crossed over again. They almost make contact.
Carter managed to stay on the
Anthony
outside,
might
but he's
be out of
so
the-
tight.
Contention.
I think Anthony's out of this race. Unless he can pull something out, I don't think there's any way he's going to catch up.
Carter to the inside, turn 3. This time he makes it stick. He's cleaner this time.
That was
Carter.
wrong. Anthony's right there. Anthony's back. He's back. He's right there.
All it took was one good corner, and Anthony's back. He's going to get a big run behind 3 cars of draft on the front straightaway. Do we see them weaving as we see 2 to go this time?
Oh, Carter's looking to go defensive. Not now. Napa's to the inside. Oh, the checking up very tight, very close to each other. Napa's going to get away with it from the lead, though.
Anthony's back in it. There's just 2 laps remaining to crown an Indy 500 champion.
It's now or never.
They're saving. They don't want to do it. Now he might be forced to do something. They don't want to pass. They saved. They all saved.
I think
But
it's
did
gonna,
they save too much?
I don't know. Napa's pulling away. I think they're going to have one good shot into turn 3. It's going to be either Carter or Corey to have the
bumped
best
Carter
run.
a little bit.
A huge snake as we see the white flag here at Indianapolis. Corey makes the move for P2. Is that the move?
Diving down into turn
Oh,
1.
he's right there.
Here we go. It's super tight. Here they
Smash
come.
the wall.
Napa on the
Corey's out
lead.
of it.
Corey with a run through turn 2.
Oh, Corey washes up the track. There's no run. Anthony has to back out. They almost touched tires. Does Corey have anything for Napa? Did he make the right wing adjustments? Carter in the back. They hit. I think it's over. I think Napa has this
I think
one.
Napa's got it.
Here we go. Out of the turn 4. They can't get to him. Napa boy is going
Napa
to be
is
your
going
Indy
to
500
win it.
champion.
Oh my god.
What a race.
What a race.